IBC.
Okay, let's see. Hi, how's it going, everyone? Let's see, is there morning? Let's see. Okay, just waiting for a few people. I see we have 15 so far. I think we can start in the next 3 minutes or so. See familiar name here, Dylan. Dylan, how are you doing? Oh, okay. Okay, so everyone will be muted. But if you can hear me, you can just give me a thumbs up, and then we know everything is perfect. Yeah. Then we do have a chat section, and then you can just pop in your questions. And then yeah, we will respond. And if we don't respond, we will then organize to send you an email to say hi. To your question, here's an answer. Alex is currently not available, so I will be taking on the PV manager training today. And let's see, 15 people. Just give it a bit of 2 minutes or something, because I think we had about 40 people registered. So hoping that more will come in before then. Okay, doesn't seem like we'll be getting any more people, so we can just start. Can I see by a raise of hands if we do it, if all of you are registered with us as premium clients? Yeah, perfect. If you're not registered with us, you can just pop in an email on the chat, and Zane will then send you an email to fill in a form. So the only requirement is that you're an installation company, so we do not sell to the public. So you can just send in, you can just drop your email, and then Zane will just send you a form to fill in your company details. And then you will have access to our web shop and also PV Manager. And if you do not have PV Manager, you can just also write it down on the chat, and we will send you a form to fill in, and also pro forma, and then we can just get you access to our PV Manager. Okay, so we will start. Before we start, I would just like to introduce IBC. We'll introduce to you our products and also our web shop. So let me just share my screen with you guys. Can everybody see my screen? Okay, perfect. We'll continue. So IBC is manufacturing and a distributing company. So we do make our own mounting structures, and we do have our own software called PV Manager that we use and which will be on today's training. So basically let's do this. Okay. So we do have a special this month for PV Manager design. It's a free design. If you have a project where you require with 100 kilowatt peak and above, we offer you a PV Manager design for just this month. So if you want to know more about this, you can then contact your sales manager, and your sales manager will then contact the technical team and offer you support in getting your PV manager design. So the only requirement for this is that your system is 100 kilowatt peak and above. And then going on to our web shop. So if you have access to our web shop, you will see that this is how the screen looks like when you log in. And you then have information such as PV modules, inverters, storage, mounting systems. So it's such a very friendly design where you'll be able to find whatever you're looking for. And then what you need to do is to log in, you'll have to click on portal. You can see on that arrow there. And then it will then push you through to the online shop with the list. You will have your online shop, PV manager, price list information, technical service, order management, financing options. So we do offer a lot of options, except for like purchasing. So if you want a PV manager, design, or technical support, we do have those options on our online portal, and I will be discussing them with you guys today. So let's take, for instance, you're looking for a price list. We do have a price list information sheet, and then all you have to do is just click on price list, and this information will come up, and you are able to download the price list in an Excel format, which you will be able to integrate into your own website, with your IT team. So we do have that option for you, and you just click on price list, and then you will get the information. And then now going on to our online web shop, you will click on online web shop. You will see then once you open that you have options such as PV modules, inverters, storage, mounting systems, and accessories. So if you're looking for PV modules, you just click on PV modules. So the brands that we normally work with is Longi, Jollywood, SMA, Victron, Fronius, Meteor Control, and MyPV. And on the battery side, you would be looking at SolMD Battery, which is a local battery manufactured in South Africa, and also BYD, which is a Chinese brand. So let's just do this. If you're looking for documents, let's say in terms of you made an order and you're looking for a tax invoice, you are able to get that information without contacting your sales manager. All you need to do is just log into your web shop with your login details and just click on My Documents. Once that is done, you will be able to see documents. Said, results are fine for this query there. That portion, that's where you'll see your documents for your purchases, and you'll be able to download it. It makes it faster, and we just thought that would be a great thing to have without having to contact the sales managers and taking the long route. If you need also help in this, you can always contact your sales managers to guide you, but then it should be an easy find on our web shop. And then now, so looking at our IBC, so we'll be using IBC, our own IBC Monosol 410 as an example. So what happens is if you make a purchase online, the prices are integrated in terms of quantity. So if you see there from 1 piece, there's the price. From 36 piece, the price reduces. So it's so everything, when you make the purchase online, all the prices are changed automatically, and you don't have to worry about getting that discount there. Everything is automated when it comes to volume prices. And if you are looking for data sheet, let's say, for instance, you have an MPPT and you're not sure which you're not sure what module to use, how many to string them, you can get the data sheet just below there on the amount on the product description. So you can get the data sheet, the warranty, installation manual, everything is provided for on the description, on the download section. Availability as well. You are able to see availability on our online web shop. So if it is green, you know that we do have, and you can see that it shows you that we have more than 1,000 pieces from week 30, week 31, week 32, up to week 37. So you can rest assured that you can make the purchase, make the order, and then the sales guys will process your order and also confirm that we do have in stock, and you can proceed with purchasing. So also another thing is you can also move to your shopping cart where you'll see the total price there, as you can see on your top right-hand side. And you can then request a quote or make an order online. You can either do one or the other. And then you do have a section where you can enter a coupon. Please always make sure that you enter a coupon before completing your order, as this will not be done by the sales managers. If you do not put your coupon in, you will be missing out on a good deal. And we do have our own PV manager. So we do offer a PV manager as a service. So if you are looking for a PV manager design, you can then log in and click and request a PV manager. Usually it's always easier to just do it online. But then before purchasing PV manager, you do have information on our web shop to see what is PV manager, what does it do, how can I use it in my company, and all this information is all there. And yeah, you can also make the order online for PV manager, which is something we'll be discussing today. There is also technical services. So I'm in the technical department with two more guys. So we do offer services to go on site to help the installer to commission the site, and also online support. If you have a Victron system and you struggling with configuring it, or something is wrong, or you need help fault finding, you can always feel free to book one of our services. You just have to speak to your sales manager, and then one of our technical guys will be in contact with you. Okay, so this is a section where you saw order management, where you'll see your confirmed all orders, open invoices, recent shipment, invoice overview. So you can see the whole, your whole purchasing orders with the IBC. So any information is provided for, you can retrieve everything over the last 720 days. We do also have financing options. So we have partnered with LulaPay. So if you don't have the funds, you can then go with LulaPay, and you will be paying LulaPay back on a 6-month repayment period. And then we also do have a 30 payment term account on request, which is something then you will discuss with your sales managers, and then they will then sit down and discuss with you in more details on that. And that's all in our introduction on IBC. And yeah, we can then start with our training today. Okay, let me just get now my PV manager. Are there any questions on this? Let's see. Okay, no questions. Okay, that means everybody's happy. We can then proceed. Just opening up my PV manager here. Okay. Can everybody see my screen now? I have my PV manager open. If you can just give me a thumbs up, that'll be great. Okay, thank you. Okay, perfect. So basically, when you start PV Manager, this is what it looks like when you open PV Manager. And you'll have this section, project data. This is where you'll put in your information, your project number, commissioning. These are all the details that you'll put in, which will be for your project. So in this case, I'm just going to put in just random information to say PV Manager training. Oh, okay. Okay. Then you'll put in your street details, which will be this, all this information will be with you to fill in. So I'm just going to fill in random details here. And then another thing to note, there is this section, the options section. I mean, some of you guys do have PV Manager and would have made use of this, but then there is this option menu here. And then what you can do then here is to fit in your company details, your address, your postal code, all your company information in, even your logo. So at the end of the day, what happens is you're able to, when you process the whole PV design, turn it into a PDF, your company details will be on the PDF information sheet. And another thing, because PV Manager only has our own products, you are able to put in your own modules to say, let's say, for instance, you'll then scroll down to your own modules. This will be where, for instance, we do not sell JA Solar or Trino Solar. You will then be able to put in your own module. For instance, there you can see Trino 340. 340 watt information has been put in there. You just have to look onto your data sheet and then you'll put in all the information, your length, your width, your height. So you just have to make sure that your information is accurate, and PV Manager Design will then process it accordingly. Okay, let's go back. So as you're designing, so we go back to project data. So you have filled in your information. That'll be the first step. And then we'll then scroll down to projects. Projects, and then we'll go down to location. So now, once everything is done, everything should be green, then you know that you're ready to proceed. So let's say, for instance, now we'll be working a location code. I've decided to use South Africa. That is also in default. So you'll then come up there, leave the information as it is. If there are any changes, you are able to change it. Maybe you're in Asia, Australia, Europe, wherever it is, we do have that information integrated into our PV Manager. So let's say South Africa, we have Bloemfontein, Durban, East London, George. So you are able to put that information there. We just, in this case, going to use Cape Town because the site that I'll be using today will be for Cape Town. So the most important thing that you have to note is your snow load. So because in South Africa, we don't have any snow load. I mean, we did recently have in Joburg, but that's probably a once-off thing. You can put the information inside to say, okay, snow load profile is 0. We hardly ever get any snow in South Africa. Then you can then move to dynamic pressure. I always work with Newton meters per second, that I know in comparison to Newton meters per second. And then I put in a wind load of 25, which is anything above that, then you have you have to worry about your roof flying other than just your panels. So 25 is a good start to use as a standard. And then you'll see now that that red color is now gone to show that you have filled in all the information needed by PV Manager. Okay, and then we proceed to planning. So what we'll start with is to say so if you went to a site and you did let's say you ran you flew your drone on top of the roof and took pictures, that's great. You can do that and then integrate it into PV Manager, or go to Google Maps or City of Cape Town Maps, where you can take a screenshot and then drop it into PV Manager. So what I'll do now is to show you how to take a picture that you have and integrate it into PV Manager. So you'll scroll. So in this section, you can see we have buildings. Just minimize this. Okay, now working. Okay, we have buildings, trees, external objects, and tools. So what you'll do, you'll go to tools and take in your image overlay. which you'll then just draw there. It's that empty space. And then now for us to put in the picture, you'll just double click there. And we can then decide to take, just take this random picture here. And then just integrate it. And then you have a picture integrated into PV Manager. As easy as that. But now, we now need to know what's the distance, what's the ratio of the picture, so that you can find on your Google Maps, or if you do go inside and you measure. But it's always easier to just measure it on finding it on Google Maps. So in this case, I do know the distance on this picture, the dimensions. So what I'll do then is to go on to this section here, adapt image scaling. I'll just click on that. So I know the distance between there and there is 12 meters. So I'll then just draw the line there and then go to the bottom and just type in 12 meters. Then the image will then be adapted into scale. Then you know that, okay, whatever modules that we put in will fit or will not fit. And how many can you fit on the roof? Or the information will then be accurate. So you just need to make sure that is done. And then, yeah, perfect. So I know that this roof is a flat roof. So today we'll be dealing with our Aerofix G3 mounting structures, which is one of our special mounting structures. And it looks very nice. It looks very nice if I do say so myself. So then we have that information integrated. Now I want to put in panels. What I'll then do is to say, okay, building. Now I need to put in that, and I'll just do that. Now I'm drawing my roofing, and then I just need to adapt it into scale or adapt it into the image. So basically you do that. What's that? And that's how you work it out. You can put the whole of the roof, but for today, I'm just going to be doing one small, simple roof layout. And then we can just go into depth how to integrate inverters inside. If you know how much the client is producing, then you can always get that information and put it into PV Manager or consumption from Eskom. So there we have it. I have then integrated that specific area of my roof. And then there we go, just click on it. Now I need to choose what type of roof it is. So I know it's a flat roof, it's a concrete flat roof. I'll then click on roof shape. So there is information. If you know the building width, the building length, you can always put that in there. But then in this case, because I integrated it onto PV Manager when I did the scale thing, then you can see here the building width 12. There. So now my roof shape, I'll then pick my roof shape to say, okay, it is a flat roof. And then building height, if you do have that information, you can always put it in. But then in this case, I do not know that information, but I do know that this is a concrete roof. So I just need to change that from bitumen to concrete. Okay. And that's how you basically start your PV design. Now you proceed now to say, okay, how many panels can I fit now? Okay. You just double click onto that square that you put in, or that building that you put in. And then this is what will come up. And then you can now decide to say, okay, click on automate module placement. Now this is where you'll now decide if you just want to see if you want to stack as many panels as you can then just use full roof area, maximum number of panels of modules. And you just click OK. And then you'll be able to see, okay, this is how many modules I can fit in, maximum. But in this case, I want to be a little bit more specific to say, I just want to put on 10 panels and I want them to face north. So then just say, okay, let's go to the side. mounting structures. Okay, this, as you can see here, you have Aerofix G3 8 south, 8 east west, 8 south, east west, south, east west. These are all our Aerofix G3 modules with different degrees and inclinations. So we will then work with, for instance, I'll pick Aerofix G3 15 degrees south. So I'm not being specific. And then I'll just click on that. And then I want to choose which modules I want. So I'll show you now to say, okay, let's say I pick long. If you click there, you'll see that, okay, nothing is happening on my module type. This is to tell you that, okay, Longi is not compatible with our mounting structures. So if you do ever come across that, just know that, okay, I just need to then pick a different module, because maybe perhaps, which in this case I do know, is that the Longi modules are actually bigger than 2.1 in length, and our modules actually do 2.1 maximum. So then, okay, pick a different module, Jollywood. There you go, same case. So do not be shocked. Maybe there's a glitch or anything. It's just a matter of like PV Manager is trying to block you from doing a design because it knows that the module will not work. So I'll then pick IBC modules, and then you can see now the module list comes up, and then it's just to tell you that the modules do work with the mounting structures that you have selected. So I'll then pick, in this case, our 410 bifacial modules. And then there you go, we click it. Now clamp colors, I mean, those are black modules, so I'll then pick black. And then module clamps, G3s, which is our latest mounting structure. So you always pick the G3s. So it is very important that you know our mounting structures to do a PV Manager design, because that will help you in designing. If you're designing something, you want to know what you're working with. So I'd always advise that you have a look at our web shop, see what mounting structures we have, how you can put them together, and then PV Manager will just help you doing a bill of material, doing a nice design. How many modules can you fit on an inverter, and etc. Okay, and we'll be having now our ballast rail. So we used to have ballast rail a couple of I think last year we stopped, and then now we use LUL. This is on your ballast rail. So if you are well aware of our mounting structures, so that's why that's why I say that you need to be well aware of our mounting structures. This will help you in making a design. So in this case, I know that we only use LULs. That's what we have on our web shop, and that's where you put your concrete, because you're not going to be drilling onto a flat roof. So yeah, if you don't have any information on mounting structures, you can always feel free to drop an email below and say, please, can I get some documentations on your mounting structures? And Zane will definitely help you with sending you a document, or myself. And the rails will be using, okay, default or Ecomax 2.3. Let's leave it at default. And then now we begin. So my objective is to put in 10 modules. Then I'll then go back and say, okay, pick on quantity of rows. Then you can then pick, okay, maybe I want in 2, 5. Then let's do that, 5. And then click on OK. And there you go. You have your modules, 10 modules. You can move it around. There you go. Just click on Shift to select modules, and you can move them around. So that's how you'll be moving around panels. So you can configure it to the way you like. And if you do move it out of line, PV Manager will not allow you. As you can see there, I'm trying to move it out of the scope. PV Manager doesn't allow me. So there's a safety mechanism from PV Manager to make sure that your design is 100% done correctly. Then now I do have my modules put in. I'm happy with that. Then I just click back. And there you go. You'll be able to see your modules there. And then you can then if this is what the client wants, you can then send it to your client to show him how you'll be putting your modules. So you can always do it according to how, I mean, you could for instance, put your modules there because you still have enough place. But this is just for training and just to show you how to use PV Manager. So once this is done, as you can see there, everything is green. That means you're all good to go. We then go to connection. Now on connection connection will then help you to say what inverter do you need to use. So you can see there that it's gray, so it's no information has been placed in yet. So I'll then click on inverter configuration and go to group 1. Now, what you'll see now is manufacturer. This is all the inverters that we do sell. You'll see Fronius, Goodwe, and SMA. We do sell Victron as well, but Victron has a separate MPPT, so that's sort of like a different case. And we are able to help you in designing a Victron system. If you do need help, you can just contact your sales managers, and they will then point you towards the technical department, and we'll offer you support on that. So for today, I'd like to use the Goodwe. Goodwe has the new ES20s. Actually, let's do SMA. I'll just choose SMA because I want to put an SMA. I like the system. I like the inverter. It's nice. Now you have to know, okay, it's a core. I don't want to use a core. Smart energy. Nope. Sunny Boy. Okay, I can use Sunny Boy or Tri Power. Then I just select which inverter I want to use. I want to work with the Sunny Boys. Then what you'll do is then after that information has been selected, you then go to automatic dimensioning. And then it will then give you your SMA Sunny Boy there with the sizing ratio of 106.6%. Then you can just open it up there. You can see, okay, MPPT 1 has 6 modules. The second MPPT has 4 modules. And then that will be, then you get to see, okay, this is how PV Manager configured it for me in terms of modules. I'll then use that on my system. So you can rest assured that you're not gonna oversize or go over the open circuit voltage, because PV Manager actually has all that information integrated and it does the calculation automatically for you. Then after this is done, you then know, okay, I have selected my inverter. I know I'll be putting my panels. There are extra things that you can do based on the information that you have. So we can then go and say, okay, consumption. You can click on consumption. If you do not have that information, it's fine. There is no need to put it in. But then it is always that nice tool to have to say, okay, I do have the consumption. Let me see what I can do with it. So now what we will do now is to say, okay, this is a household. You can put in consumption there if you do know the kilowatt hours per month of the client. So that's a place. If you do have that information, you can put it in, and then you will then get results there. As you can see, purchase directly. Let's just set this. Okay, there is also an option to put in storage. So that's where you'll put in storage, battery system, everything will be up to you to define. So PV Manager has that option to put in your information inside. Okay. And then we just go to cabling. I want to show you here. It's frozen. Okay. Yeah. Just want to get open. Things. Just bear with me. Okay. Okay, we'll get to it. So with this information, you are able to see I mean, what's the kilowatts? It's like, where is it? Why isn't it coming up? Why is it not coming up? Mm. Okay, just taking a little bit longer to load. But anyway, so what we'll do then is to say, okay, you have your inverter, you have the module configuration. You can then say, okay, let's now, I want to turn this into a quote and give to my client. You will click on quotation and then project changed. Our project has been changed. You want to save the changes? Yes. Okay, it's loading. It's loading. It's just taking its time. But are there any questions so far? Is everything fine? See here the questions. Okay, no questions. Perfect. Okay, while this is loading, I do want to say that if you are working on a PV manager design, you can share it with us. You can contact your sales manager, and then your sales manager will then direct you to the technical team, and then we will then ask you to share the design with us, and then we can just have a look, and then we can then assist if you do need assistance. It's just loading here. Just waiting for it. So if there are any questions, you can pop in the questions, and then we can just see if we can answer them now. I hope my PV manager is not crashing. It's taking its time. Okay, apologies for that. It is taking longer than expected. Um, no. And we'll just have to restart this. Okay, my PV manager is crashed. Just gonna open it up quickly. I can show you how to finalize and see your quotation. Okay. And we are back. Okay. Okay, we can continue from where we left off. So another thing is the first rule is always save your information. In this case, also PV manager did just take me back to where I was, which is good, but you can always save your information and always be able to open it up on this section here. Or save current project. And then just save that. It's taking longer than expected. Perhaps I do. Perhaps I have problems with Wi-Fi. Just have to have a look. Hmm. Okay. Having problems with Wi-Fi. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we're just having Wi-Fi problems here in the office. So apologies for that. We are going to try to speed it up before our time runs up. Um, okay, then you open, then that's the last project I was working on, which is PV Manager training. Accept. Sweet. Okay, so you'll go to quotation in that section, and you will then see all the mounting structure, the part list that you need. So based on the, so you'll see there we have 10 modules, which is what I selected initially during my design. So PV Manager will then give you cable clips. This is how many you need. So if you see that it's in red, then we don't have that anymore. And you can then select something else. If you go to the IBC shop, then you'll see there will be an alternative part for that. So it'll give you all the butt connectors, the top support, the bottom support, middle clamps and clamps, LULs, how many you need, and also give you a total price there at the end. So another thing to note is you can do a presentation for this. All you need to do is just click. Then you can select whatever information you need there. If you need the display of the module array, you can click on that. If you want to see the ballast plan, you can click on that. You can click there for an order, which is going to push you to the IBC shop when you click there, and the part list. So once you're done, you just need to make sure that you click on IBC Solar Shop, and it's going to push it onto your web shop. And then you just click accept. It takes about 15 minutes for it to go to your web shop, so you will have to wait a little bit, but then all the information will be sent to your own personal web shop with your login details. It's just unfortunate that we have a problem with our Wi-Fi, but then that's sort of like the long story short to say this is how I use PV Manager. This is how I put my modules. This is how I push it onto to my web shop, so file cannot be exported. Okay, so we do have problems with our Wi-Fi. I think, yeah, we just have to sort it out later. And I do not want to hold anyone up because of that. But another thing that I feel I should let you know is on the planning, which I missed, is let's go back. Is if you click on that portion. So if you make the whole house design, and if we were to put in maybe more, say, rectangular buildings, and to perhaps do that. I just want to show you how it look like. And just want to keep it as simple as possible. Just okay. You do the same thing, roof shape, flat roof, concrete. Then just double click. You are able to put other stuff. As you can see here, there is an obstacle there. So you can say, and look at it, okay, maybe that looks like a solar collector. You just put it there. So you are able to put those obstacles in. Start to put another one. And then put in another one there. This is like a short, just showing you if there are any obstacles, you are able to put the obstacles on using PV Manager. And we can then say, okay, maybe how many modules do you want to put? Let's try to populate. See how many modules we can fit. And then PV Manager will work around those obstacles. So in this case here, let's say I don't want to use my east-west. I prefer to use my south. There we go. So just another thing to note, I know it is saying south. It's just a matter of like PV Manager is made in Germany, but it will be on the north direction when you design on your side. Just something to note, which I didn't mention. And then your ballast rail, we did mention that we don't have ballast rail, so you have to use your LUL. So it's very important that you know our mounting structures, and you can use different modules. You can pick maybe to use, okay, maybe let me use 425 in this area. We'll do that, and then let's populate. And then we have populated on our roofing. So let's say, for instance, now I just don't want to put so many. I'd want to put maybe 10 also. Yeah. Then we go back. Orange. C to don't balance on the configuration. So this on this section, you will see warnings and information such as this. Planning is always subject to force of technical check, which will then be a structural engineer when you go inside. So then let's just do it this way. Let's then say, okay, let's move our modules. Just want to show you. So that's how you move your modules. And then if you want to delete a few modules and say, okay, maybe I do not want 10, I want 4, you can just select and delete. Okay. Then now we go back. Okay. Then you are able to do a 3D. It does take time if you want to do the whole roofing. And then you can do a 3D and just click on that picture there, 3D view, and your 3D will come up. Just see which window. It's coming up from a different window. So if you have a look, if we did a full proper design, we would then be able to have a 3D view such as this. As you can see, it's a flat roof. There's our solar collectors and IBC modules that we put onto the roof. So everything can be worked out if you do shift a little bit and cover all the angles, and then you will have a proper view or proper scale of your roof. And then another thing I would like to show you is, let's say, for instance, you don't fully understand how the bill of material came up. You can see it, but you want to then go on site and do it by yourself. You can always come up to display mounting structure, which is there. And then you can see your base rails there. Okay, there's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that makes it up to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then you see there is a connection point there. Then you get to see, okay, there is a butt connector, which we normally use 2. So you'll be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 baluster rails. So you are able to see and have an understanding on how PV Manager Design actually did it or placed it. And then as you can see, show ballasting, you can see the kgs there, 122 kgs. This is where you'll be putting in your ballast. There. So it sort of gives you the whole detailed also installation. So unfortunately, yeah, it's just we have issues with our Wi-Fi. So we would, yeah, I would like to apologize for that. We are getting errors and it's just slow Wi-Fi. But basically, overall, that's how you work PV Manager. And if you do have PV Manager already, you can, and you do have questions, we can assist you in that. You just have to speak to your sales manager. I see Dylan here has a question to say, let's see. In order to get the PV Manager, would you just need my email to send me the details? So Dylan, if you need PV Manager, you can send an email to your sales manager, and your sales manager will then send in a form that you have to fill in, and then you select which PV Manager do you need. So you have a PV Manager for 1 year and also for 5 years. And then if we have different mounting structures, will that still be okay? So on mounting structures, unfortunately, you would have to use IBC modules, IBC mounting structures, but you can change your panels. But unfortunately for mounting structures, we don't have that feature to put in mounting structures from outside. And then Conrad Stein, do you have a 30-day trial? Conrad, unfortunately, we don't have a 30-day trial. So the amount that you would pay for PV Manager in South Africa, it's a 1 year. The same price that they pay in Germany, they pay per month. On our side, we just give it for that same price that they use per month. It's for a whole year. So it's a very well-priced PV Manager design, and I think you'd enjoy it. It's very cheap in comparison to using systems such as PV-Assist, Helioscope. I think PV Manager comes in at a very well price. Yeah. And yeah, if there are no more questions, thank you guys for bearing with me and staying up until now. And I think we're just going to end just in the nick of time. So if there are no questions, we will wait until 10 o'clock. If there are people who have more questions, you can still drop them and we can answer. But for today, we are done. And thank you everyone for joining us.